everyone, Will here from Mature Minded Gamers, and today we are doing our deep dive into Super Fantasy Brawl, going through each of the characters. This game is from Mythic Games, plays 2 to 4 players in about 60 minutes. I am very much looking forward to this one. We are currently checking this game out though on Tabletopia, as the game has not yet been released. Should be out fall of 2020. Looking forward to checking this out. So we're going to go ahead and dive into our character spotlight today, and we're looking at Sulka, the Poisoned Mind, a very unique snake-looking style character. Kind of looks like a Gorgon with a mask, and I just think it's a very interesting and it's just beautiful artwork. I just think it's fun. I think it's fantastical, and I love the colors they chose to use. This one here, Sulka has 0 armor and only 7 health, so not necessarily a frontline brawler, but let's see what happens when she does level up, as after you do play a Sulka manipulation card, draw 1, plan 1. So anytime you play one of her blue cards, not only are you going to draw a card, but you're going to then play another card down onto your top of your draw pile. This could be pretty helpful than any play. I kind of wish it was anytime you play a manipulation card in general. It would kind of give it a little bit more, because the chances of you having one of your 2 cards in your hand that you're going to be able to play that one turn, I don't know, it just kind of seems I want a little bit more for a level up. You know, I like it, but I'm not in love with it. But let's see how the champion cards maybe could play off of that, and see if there's any combos we can find either from the level up ability or between cards or other characters. So if you guys do have any advice as far as like what character you should team up with Sulka or the best way to play her, please leave a comment in the section below. Hit that like and subscribe button so you can be notified when we are releasing more content for not only Super Fantasy Brawl, but also a whole bunch of other board games, video games, and much more as well. So without further ado, let's take a look at each of Sulka's cards. First off, we do have a attack card called Darting Strikes. It is a 3 range non-line of sight attack, giving 2 power, but it also does double. I do love double. I do love it when you're going to resolve the damage sequence twice, which is pretty fantastic. Can really dish out some damage, especially if they can't defend against it. So I don't like to necessarily lead off with a card that does double. I kind of like to try to hit them for something a little bit smaller that maybe does an effect that they don't want, so they use their reaction cards. Even if you're using cores, I'm okay with that, because every time they react with a core, that means they're going to be doing less on their turn. So it kind of gives you that that you want to defend and not be able to do anything, but it really stops you and hinders you from maybe doing something so big or as much on your turn. So not a card I like to start off with, but definitely a great card for middle or last card to play. All right, next up we are looking at another attack card. This one is called Life Drain. I love the art of this card. It is 2 movement, a 3 hex line attack with 2 power. Does do lifesteal, and you may choose to heal one of Sulka's allies instead. So I think that from a healing standpoint, I mean, we look at Lorelei, and then now we see Sulka. We have 2 champions that can really heal other things and kind of give you some abilities there. And I really feel like Sulka is already more of the champion that I'd want from a healing perspective. Because not only does she have some decent attacks, not as much armor, but I mean, she gains the extra health when she's leveled up. Next up, we do have a skill card called Effigy. It is a 2 movement, Hexline 2, Force 1, Stun. So this is really, really a control card. Not only are you going to be able to move them where you want them, hopefully into a trap hex, but then also limiting the number of cards that your opponent has in their hand at the beginning of their turn. So some really, really powerful control stuff with this one particular card. Next up, we do have another skill card. This one is called Spirit Slither. This card reminds me of a sci-fi movie, or that there's a horror movie where the girl is coming out of the TV, and that's just kind of reminds me of that. She's just a snake, looks like she's crawling out, and this one is 3 movement, and then may move through enemies, statues, and traps. Enemies move through suffer -2 armor until the end of the turn. So if you really want to hit somebody that has some armor, you really want to make sure an attack at least lands, not necessarily the effects, but at least the amount of damage. then Spirit Slither is the way to go. All right, next up, we do have Mind Control, another skill card. This one is 2 movement. Discard the top card of an opponent's deck. The matching enemy suffers force 2. I've had this played on me a couple times now, and it really was not fun to continuously be required to move one of my champions at random. But not only that, we're discarding the top card of my deck, so I may not see it. I was hoping to be able to draw a card. Maybe it's not going to come up now. It was really kind of a pain in the neck, so not a card that I like happening to me, but it's definitely a card I would love to play against somebody else. So I'm definitely digging so far what Sulka could do as a support. All right, and last but certainly not least, we do have Sulka's reaction card. This one is called Curse. And the eyes on this art is just really creepy. I love that she's holding the mask, or even put it on, and just kind of took it off, revealed her face. Definitely a Gorgon. All right, love it. All right, so now let's give it 2 armor, but also after the attack suffers Root. Now, Root is the one that basically they can no longer move the remainder of the turn. You know, the thing about this game, I kind of wish they would have broken down the turns into something a little bit different. So, like Root, they can't move till the end of the turn. Well, if you're the second player, it really does nothing, and it's kind of like they really need to clean that up, and maybe they have, and it's just not in the rule book on the Tabletopia version here. If you guys have seen anything, again, put a comment down in the comment section, because I haven't seen anything about that changing yet. So, all right, everyone, that was a very fun looking champion. This is a great champion for not only a little bit of healing, a lot of board control and stuns and roots, and just a little bit of everything with a pretty good reaction. So I would love to see who you guys are partnering her out with. Hit that like and subscribe button. Meet me on Discord. Let's play a game, and I'd love to meet you at the table.